Good evening. Welcome to the Dark Ozarks. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Lisa. Hey, everybody. Oh, it's it is. Well, we have a fun topic for tonight, and it's good to be back. And I'm glad that it's again Wednesday night for Dark Ozarks.
Yes, something that people may not be thinking of on their compass with the Ozarks, but vampirism.
Vampires. There's a lot to pick apart, a lot to potentially put back together. Some very interesting historic elements, and some contemporary bits and pieces that might surprise people if they're not familiar with Southwest Missouri. So lots of lots of things to dig into. A lot of this, of course, we do research prior to each show. We have our intro here on live on YouTube. Then we go to our long format on Facebook, and then the long format is uploaded later to YouTube. So that fills out Dark Ozarks, and then we also have a subscriber option on Facebook. We'll talk more about that when we get over to Facebook, as well as a number of events and a fantastic sponsor.
Well, don't forget the podcast.
Yes. Well, it's so new. It's not on my official list that is painstakingly written out in front of me.
Yes, the Dark Ozarks podcast can be found at Branson Podcast Network, and we are excited about that affiliation, and things are going well over there. It's only been up there for about a week, but numbers are climbing. There's a number of episodes out there if you're interested. And then back to events.
Yes, the first big event of the Halloween season. Essentially, we didn't specifically plan this out, but Dark Ozarks has a heavy Halloween season schedule.
It does. It does, but that's okay.
It is, and we will kick that off at State of the Ozarks Fest, Saturday, September 17th in historic downtown Hollister. I'm happy to report the festival is coming together well. And what it looks like at the moment is that Dark Ozarks and State of the Ozarks will be sharing space in front of the depot. That's where things are at right at the moment, and very excited about that. There's a lot to see and do. It's a one-day festival. The event is free. The public is welcome. And I will go a little bit out on a limb and say it is likely the most unique large street festival that you're going to encounter in the Ozarks.
I think so. In my experience, that is true. And it certainly has the most varied attendees as far as vendors and events. So very few places where you can get live music, good food, artisans, Civil War reenactors, and medieval combat.
Yes, I'm currently in the process of negotiating transit for a trebuchet. So
It's still my trebuchet.
and if folks are not familiar with a trebuchet, look it up. Trebuchet. You'll look it up and you go, wait, at an Ozarks festival? Yes, and it is like 30 feet tall. So it really makes me feel the festival. For people who don't know, I'm the event creator and I guess coordinator, and nothing else during the year makes me feel like Kermit the Frog trying to put on the Muppet Show than State of the Ozarks Fest. And I realize I entirely do it to myself.
Yes, you do. A little bit. It's okay.
But it is a great time. It is really becoming a bit of an iconic small festival. Small as in 4 to 10,000 in attendance, and in our small town of Hollister. And And this will be year number 6.
And they keep getting bigger every year, and
They do.
been there every year, and can't wait.
It's going to be fun. So make plans to visit us. I'll be there. You will be there. Our books will be there. I ordered books yesterday.
I ordered books today.
Oh my gosh. Okay. See, this is
There may be a cosmic disaster. We actually both ordered books at the same time. That never happens.
It doesn't. It really doesn't. And at some point, we should just do an episode dedicated to our books, but not today. We so we'll be there. Book signing, purchases, just a lot of great stuff. Encourage people to come out, arrive early, stay late, get some amazing food. Enjoy the combat, talk to folks about history and craftsmanship and all those things. And then, let's see, a week later, I'm going to have to sleep sometime in there. A week later, we will be in Caney, Kansas.
Yes, at the Border Town Paracon, put on by SEK, Border Town Paranormal Society. And I've been a speaker there before. Very nice event, and it is actually in the Little Ozarks of Kansas. Technically not in the Ozarks, but it's called the Little Ozarks, and very interesting area, and looks like it's going to be a pretty interesting panel. So anyone that's interested in those things, go to the SEK Bordertown Paranormal page on Facebook, and you can find information about the event. Plus, we've posted about it on the Dark Ozarks pages as well. So
yes. And then on October 7th, Friday, October 7th, we will be back in Hollister in conjunction with First Friday Art Walk, and we're bringing the Haunted Hollister walking tour back to downtown.
Yes, I'm really glad that we're getting back to that. So
I am too. I have had some questions if this is going to be a recurring event. Right now, our plans are just focused on the October 7th. So make plans for that and get your tickets. But depending on how popular it is, or if we run out of space, etc., we may end up making this a regular thing.
Exactly. So, basically you let us know whether or not there's enough demand for it to keep going. So
keep going. Yeah.
And they get to tour the Old English Inn as well, which is very haunted.
Yes.
Plus a lot of ghost stories, storytelling, etc. It'll be fun that night. Tickets are available at paranormalsciencelab.com, and they are starting to sell through pretty good. So this early, yeah. I'm glad about that.
I am too.
I was losing track of my dates here. October 15th will be next.
Yep.
Then we'll be in Joplin for Dark Ozarks October Country, which is a day-long event, all focusing on everything under our umbrella: dark history, the paranormal, unsolved mysteries, cryptids, etc. And going to have we'll have a panel, but we're going to involve everybody. There's going to be refreshments and various things going on through the day. And it's just going to be a lot of fun. I love the event.
I know. I'm really looking forward to all of these. And then Art Walk in Joplin with the walking tour.
Yes, on the 20th. We will be doing the Old Joplin Downtown Walking Tour in conjunction with Third Thursday Art Walk, and partnering with Joplin Downtown Alliance, which hey Sky, which we like to support because they do a lot of good things for the community, including partnering to restore historic buildings and so on and so forth. So, and supporting the arts as well. So
yes, we'll be very excited about that. Is that do you purchase tickets online for that?
Yes, they are at paranormalsciencelab.com as well, and sewing through as well. And lots of history and ghost stories with that one. So it's a fun one. We've had a lot of success with that one in the past. And then after that, we will be at Newtonia on the 29th of October
On the
at the
29th.
Ritchie Mansion.
Yes. In so many cases, these are great opportunities to get to go into locations you would not otherwise have public access. And the Ritchie Mansion really stands out as one of those classic events. It's a beautiful antebellum home in Newtonia, Missouri. And the home has an enormous amount of history, including crucial Civil War history that
Yes.
includes two battles. And the 28th, October 28th, is actually the anniversary of the Second Battle of Newtonia. So if you're inclined to believe in the repetitious celestial cycling of hauntings, being there with, yeah, we might have more activity at that point. There is also great opportunity to go to the Civil War cemetery, which is honestly one of my favorite places in Missouri.
I know, I love it too.
and get a great history tour as well. So very, very excited to have the opportunity to come back to Newtonia and to the Ritchie Mansion. Also, in so many cases, a large percentage of the proceeds of these tours go to help ensure the preservation and restoration of these homes, and that is it's a really wonderful way to give back and help preserve our future, preserve our history for future generations.
Exactly. And again, tickets available at paranormalsciencelab.com. And then on November 19th, we actually have two events.
Yes.
In the afternoon, we will be at Always Buying Books for book signing for both of us. And then
Yes.
that evening, we will be at the Webster Library for a tour and investigation.
Yes.
And tickets are on sale for that as well. So
gonna be a very packed out autumn season.
yes. So, check it out, check out the events, get your tickets, and plan to come and have fun. And thank you to Always Buying Books, who sponsors the video casts, the podcasts, as well as sponsoring the October Country event in October. And they are just, it's a great bookstore. It's phenomenal inventory, everything from reading, general reading material to high-end collectibles to hard to find nonfiction and everything in between. And Bob and I just, they're great, do a great job. And you don't even, if you can get there in person, that's great. And, but if not, call them or get a hold of them on Facebook or on their website, alwaysbuyingbooks.com, and order, and they will mail them out to you.
Well, and not only that, of course, follow Always Buying Books on Facebook. They do have a great Facebook group as well, so you can stay up to date on upcoming titles or incoming titles. Mm-hmm. Fantastic job of curation, particularly of unique and esoteric titles, and just a fun, if you're in the area, and of course, ideal for anybody who's doing a Route 66 tour. Fantastic place to stop in when you're going through Joplin.
It really is. And so we thank them and hope everyone supports them. And now for the fun.
Yes. Vampires. Vampires in the Ozarks.
Just what everyone expected.
I suspect not. Ultimately we won't know, but you guys can tell us. But it is such a unique and long-standing history. I think it would probably behoove us a little bit here on YouTube for the YouTube portion of of Dark Ozarks to really talk about the definitions, the working definitions of vampires, and as a way to kick this off, and perhaps some of the pop culture misconceptions, as well as some of the more folkloric groundings of the lore.
Sounds good. And where do you want to start with that? Twilight.
I was going to say Blade.
I like Blade better.
I do too. I did love the proposition of a Blade Twilight mashup. And the idea that Wesley Snipes would show up and slaughter everyone, and the entire film would last about 15 minutes. I really like that just a little bit more than I probably should. But along with that is well, I'm going to start with myself. I don't traditionally think of myself as a diehard vampire fan.
Mm-hmm.
However, when I review the pop culture that I have at my disposal, I don't have Twilight, and I've not read Twilight, probably for the better. I have, of course,
I have not. Well,
I have read.
Are enough to turn me off.
I have read Interview with a Vampire by Anne Rice, as well as watched the film many times. I love the Blade trilogy, and of course have also read Dracula by Bram Stoker, as well as watched the Coppola film with a really phenomenal cast, including but not limited to Sir Anthony Hopkins, Keanu Reeves, Winona Ryder, and I know I'm leaving out several people. So, which I really like that film. I know it has mixed reviews, in a variety of ways, but I really enjoyed that film immensely. So that said, certainly there's a lot of that's a lot of vampire right there for somebody who doesn't do vampires.
Right. Well, and then we should do a little shout out too, because there is a lot of there's been a resurgence of various vampire novels and series of novels since Anne Rice and since Twilight, including Charlene Harris, who is an Arkansas author, and she has quite a following and success, and TV show based on her words, etc. So shout out to one of the local girls who made good with vampires. So
yes, very, very much so. And I think it's we'll dig into this extensively in the long format, but there are a number of motifs with vampirism that strike highly resonant chords.
Yes.
With the public for a variety of reasons, and I think we'll dig into those. Certainly our opinions on that, and maybe some other people's opinions as well. There's crossovers of conspiracy theory, true crime, Civil War, and later era history, as well as, of course, just the associations with Gothic, or in some cases connections with New England lore and history. And then the old world connections, not to mention, and this might be a good place to discuss briefly and then sign off here on YouTube, Indigenous or First Nation lore. There's a number of entities in Native American culture that are best described as vampiric.
Yes, often associated with witches.
Yes.
Um, some originate almost as ghosts, uh,
Hmm.
and becoming more of a predatory spirit. Um,
Yes.
but often almost as that cautionary tale of witchcraft gone bad, becoming something that's vampire-like, uh, similar to uh, sort of the same sort of cautionary tales as with skinwalkers and so on and so forth.
There is an interesting crossover. We associate different expectations with different words. A word like skinwalker is going to evoke a lot of ideas that are very different than the word vampire, just because of the cultural baggage.
Mm.
And of course, then different from, say, shapeshifter. But what is so interesting about vampire lore as a whole is that shapeshifting is a big part of it, and an implication of black magic gone wrong is also a type of implication associated.
Yes, and that seems to that's very prominent in indigenous lore in North America, but it really also goes back in the old world a long ways. I mean, there are aspects of those themes that go back clear back to ancient Greece. So,
Yes.
so this idea of this is sort of the karmic, if you want to say, the karmic consequences of crossing the line. Um,
Yes.
that seems to be probably the most constant thread through history with this concept that in pop culture people don't even really think about.
No, and I do think that you hit on something there. The theme of crossing the line is, you know, it is very it is very very interesting in terms of those larger and sometimes terrifying consequences.
Exactly, exactly. And that might be a good spot to end here, and then um, we'll go on over to the extended format, which will be uploaded here on YouTube tomorrow night.
Absolutely. We thank everybody for joining us. Please like, share, follow, subscribe, click the notification bell, all the things that one does on social media, and check out the library. There's already a lot in there.
Yes, there is. And we thank you all and see you next week.
See y'all.